Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. So, hey Art, what's going on, man? You can help me answer some questions? I don't know, I'm not doing anything too crazy today. I just woke up from a nap, and I actually feel extremely, like, groggy or whatever after you wake up from a nap. That's exactly how I am right now. And I have tea in front of me, and it kind of helped enough for me to say, let's turn on the stream. Let's play Archeage the way that I play normally. Not too many arenas or anything actually today. Just about, and I'm here to help answer questions in case anybody wants to. But I'm kind of I'm just sleepy. All right, today's a sleepy day, so I'm not gonna do anything that's gonna wear me out too much. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I didn't think that part through yet. I just knew that I wanted to turn on the stream because I was playing anyways. And that's what we've done here. Let me disable this. Oh, hey, actually that works pretty well in the text chat that you guys see. Cool. It's good Cody spam. How's it going, Art? Wait, what's actually available right now to farming? Oh, there's 10 minutes left though. What? What? It's not many options. Mirror Tundra? I actually went and got this port now that I have a speedboat. Happy that I did that. Oh, also, I've been, WoW and I went and we killed Ricey. That was pretty cool. So I got that stuff done. Now I need the Kraken Eye. Man, Ricey is easy compared to, like, 2015. Oh my god, I miss those days of having to, like, get, 3 parties of people together in a raid just to kill something. And also we did Mist Songs. Now I have this guy too, so that's cool. I didn't actually know this because I never had another Gallant mount other than the Leomorph. But the Gallant Snowline has a dash that is a separate cooldown timer than that of the regular Snowline. I guess I must have known this at some point because back when I was researching this stuff, I did notice that Dash and the other Dash had different descriptions, which means they're technically different skills, which means they would be on separate cooldown timers. Yeah, but Leomorphs are like that because they're actually separate skill names too. But they actually have the same skill name here. It's just a slight difference in description, which still means it's a different skill. I didn't even know about that slight difference in description. When I got the mount, I wasn't thinking about that, but yeah, apparently that's a thing. It's not like everything, though. Like, the Elks, all the Elk skills from Gallant and Normal are the same. All of the Horse skills between Gallant and Normal are also the same. The same cooldown. They share the same cooldown, so they're not really that great. But the Snowline and the Leomorph are a different story. The other thing is that... Wait, hold on. This is too loud for me. Not for you guys, though. Okay, cool. The other thing is that the chest here could actually go on the Crimson Lightning, which I didn't know. And it is technically better because it's a 3% movement speed versus the 4 that you get from here. However, here's the thing. This sucks. It looks terrible. I hate the look on this thing. It's absolutely horrible. So, I don't know. I'm not really going to go with it. But, oh wait, actually, that reminds me. I need to go and do this, too. I need to actually level up these guys. So I still have the second Snowline. And I do kind of need to level this up at least to 55, because I'm trying to get all of the pets up to 55. Of everything, because you get achievements for that. That just give you, like, an extra Gilda star or whatever. Actually, is there a title with that, too? Anyways, whatever. So, because of this whole thing, let me just put the armor back. This look sucks. It's a horrible look. And I don't know if it's actually worth me, putting this thing on here just to 1% faster, because the difference here is 0.1 movement speed per second without buffs, right? If I activate run, it's 20.4 versus 20.5. I guess it's the same thing, as it would be. But, you know, this is still Fashion Age, so I have to actually consider that as well. Alright, anyways, let's go do something. I haven't really figured that out yet. Maybe now is a good opportunity to just level some mounts and chill and chat with everybody. Anybody who wants to come by and ask any questions. And I'll be monitoring the... Yeah, I'll be monitoring the New Player Help channel as well in the official Archeage Discord, just because I haven't really answered any questions there for the past few days, though I haven't been paying too much attention. I should get back to that. People keep PMing me things, which is cool. I've done a little bit of help in private messages. I don't think that people actually watch the streams. I think they just saw that I answer questions and they're asking me directly, which is fine. I have no problem with that. However, it'd be nicer if people actually just went to the stream, to be honest. I can answer questions much better in the stream. Alright, we're going to go over to Western Hurrah. Why am I blinking this? There we go. Hiram Camp. And I'll just stream for a couple hours, see if I can catch anybody with questions. I'm not trying to generate a super big audience at all. But, you know, how it usually goes with these streams. We start theory crafting, or we talk about video games in general, and then we go off into some very long conversation, probably about the past Archeage. So that's pretty normal for these kind of streams. Turns down a little bit more to 37%. Great. Art, while you're here, what was I saying? What was I thinking in my head? I don't remember what it was anymore. There's something I wanted to mention. Did I PM it to you, actually? Oh, yeah. I'm working on the, my mount stuff. But whatever. I'll do that at some point. Unless there's Topaz in it. Oh! Bid. Oh my god, Topaz needs to go back down in price again. Someone keeps buying it all out. I think it's because somebody actually needs the 200... What is it, 100 Topaz for the Dream Ring? So that might be why it's kind of high prices at the moment, because somebody bought them all out. But I need it so that... I'm not going to rush or anything, but I want to start upgrading my pet armor. Which, I have one at Celestial, and the rest are getting there. Actually, pet. This isn't a terrible price for them. In fact, these together might be enough to get both of these up to Celestial. Just buy them out. These two. Let's see what I've got with those first. Alright, I have to actually go back to the camp now. Let me do that. Back to the camp. But I do kind of want to upgrade the pet armor. Every armor that you upgrade gives it 100% more damage in PvE, which is crazy to me. Just every time you put a different pet armor on it, every single one of them, it's 100% more damage. Thanks, Art, for your simulated amazing question. I don't know the answer to that, because I only play in Win. I think Win is okay, but I've heard better things on some other servers. If anybody is looking for a new server to play on, the best bet you can do is to go to the official Archeage Discord, or, go to the official Archeage Discord. I was going to say Reddit, but, wait, what am I doing? This is the whole point for me to be there. Oh my god, this is my muscle memory in play here. I still have to go back and actually do this stupid thing that I just bought. Muscle memory, completely. I don't even know what a good server is right now to start on. I don't know the answers to that. It's a great question I don't have an answer to. It's better to poke around. Asked on the official Discord what people say. Everybody keeps saying Kalen. Kalen, I heard Runer was good. I'm sure every single server is fine, especially with the cross-server, like, sort of capabilities. You're never going to be bored, so it doesn't really matter where you go. Everybody's, like, so worked up about needing to... Oh, wait, did I use these yet? No, I didn't. Everybody's always worked up about what server to start on and everything, but I don't know. There's some lesser populated servers you can probably get land on. Why am I still answering this question? It's simulated. I hope that helps, Art, with your question. Certainly didn't help me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright, we're gonna get this stuff done. Take these up to Celestial. Oh my god. That's a really tough question, Art. Let me tell you, I've been asked that several times in PMs. Probably 3. I guess that 3 is several, right? With people either making mistakes or whatever, and it's really hard to answer that. I think the best answer has started to, like, this is for anybody to answer this question. The best answer to my question there is to look at any Haram piece. Not Haram piece, sorry. Oh, I see. You specifically said quest gear to Haram already. Nope. Yeah, if you use those, it's so stupid. If you use those rank 3 scrolls, there's no way to get any more of them. So you're stuck with that Haram gear unless you go and farm up more from, like, Diamond Shore mobs, specifically the Crimson Army mobs. And then you have to kind of hope for the gear that you want. It's not a great process. Getting the quest gear to Haram gear is, it's like the most vital thing, and I really feel bad for all the players who don't know that you can reroll it, essentially, or didn't read it enough, because the actual description on that gear does very blatantly say how to use it, how to reroll it, or whatever, but you'd have to read every single word to even get that. Now, I don't think that gear is actually a part of the equipment encyclopedia, is it? Oh, maybe it isn't. So I can't even tell you what it... That's weird. I'm actually kind of surprised that it's not here. It must be. Huh. Okay. That's a little strange to me. Where's Haram? Here's Haram Guardian. Do we really... They didn't put that gear in here? The Explorer's gear? Okay. And there's nobody here that sells it, right? So... Oh, wait, maybe there is. Because there's a general merchant. Here's an Adventurer's Evanstone. What does it say? It kind of explains things, but... I don't know. Anyways, I honestly do feel really, really bad for any players who accidentally, like... You know, upgraded to Haram without understanding that they could get the stats they wanted if they didn't, but... I don't know. That's why I want a wiki in-game. Because, I can answer the question for individual people fine, but there are so many more people, there are so many more people in this game who start the game, they play it, they get to that point, they mess up, but they've never contacted anybody. They're still a solo player, and they don't want to contact anybody, and, you know, they just get confused and quit the game. And they've never at all in the process, from starting to quitting, talked to anyone or looked for any information. It happens way too often. And I really feel bad because that kind of ruins the potential of the game. Because the game, honestly, it just doesn't give you much, like, it doesn't give you that information. And it really pushes people to have to read stuff. People don't like to read for some reason. Yeah, exactly. I mentioned that at the very start, that there's no way to get the rank 3 Awakening Scrolls, or Haram Scrolls, or whatever I call them. But that's my point, is that, like, people don't read that stuff. And it's at no fault of the person. Like, yeah, okay, you could go and you can read a little more, you can understand, you can experiment, etc. I totally get that. Or you can look up a guide on YouTube or something, but majority of people that you never hear about that do end up quitting or trying and quitting don't talk to anyone, and you'll never hear from them. It's the silent majority, I would say. I'd say it's a huge majority, really, because it's very common to mess up there. It's very, very common. Expert players who play the game for years can mess up with the system, at no fault of their own. There needs to be an in-game wiki. There needs to be something that players can easily access, that they know they can access, that helps without having to alt-tab or anything. Because I always feel bad. Alright, so it looks like I actually need like 200 more of these in order, if I want to get the other thing up to Celestial also. I've got a little bit of a ways to go with these infusions. Alright, okay, Art. Actually, I don't think so, right? Panir specifically doesn't really do a big raid. Because it's just like every other world boss, so it's like, you could do anything with like 2 to 3 parties now because of how scaled up the gear is compared to how it was back in the day. But all the world bosses are different. Are you gonna keep asking questions, simulating things? Art, is this just gonna be, you're just gonna make me talk? This is how you're gonna spend your, what is it, Thursday? You spend your Thursday? I mean, I guess this goes up to YouTube, but I don't think anybody's gonna gain anything from it. Oh, speaking of YouTube, there's a conversation. Oh god, here we go. I have. Cosmos is an amazing show, and I've been trying to get you to watch it. And I hope at some point you do, because it's really good. Both seasons of it. The new one, the new show, not the one with Carl Sagan. The one with Carl Sagan is awesome too, definitely. I didn't watch very much of it. Oh, you watched the trailer? That's different than watching the show. You don't have time to watch the show. That's true. You only watch trailers of things on YouTube. I've noticed that. And then you send me them and say, look at this cool review of a show. It's so good. Alright, heroic. That's fine for now. I'm not trying to rush this thing, because the pet accessory scrolls themselves to awaken them is still a 50-50 chance to even work. I wonder if they can crystallize. Holy crap. Wait. I can actually put this in, right? I can put this into the Awakening UI. Ah, no, I need a scroll to be able to see the rest. Alright. What's your attack now? 990? That's not too bad. Okay. Alright, now we can go, right? There's no more pet. There is, but I'm going to leave those there. Yeah. Okay. That's in peace too, but I'll just level up the mounts that I've got. I want to level up so many different things. In fact, do I need to level up these as well? Let's see. Where are my achievements? Achievements. What is this one? Combat? What is this one? I already forgot. Adventures, collection. Right, okay. And then here... No, that's not it. Where does this stuff live? Oh, pets and mounts? Collect all the gallant Neomorph, collect all the... Okay, I got that. Let's see... What are these? Acquire the bears... Yeah, I guess these just give Gilda. Here, complete all level 50 elks. Wait, they have to be 55? Maybe this says 50. Wait, I'm confused. Okay. So I guess they all have to be 55. Darn! I didn't get the coal main to 55 before I upgraded it. Which means now I have to get another coal main to get that achievement done. I'm not going for the Sky Emperor art. It's really, really expensive. It's a very, very good glider, but it's not worth it to me. Because as a speed glider, there are some other choices that still work really, really well. Teleporting with the Cumulus glider, or teleporting and getting lucky with the Goblin Glider is really, really good for short distances. But I've never been like, I need to travel 400 plus meters. I'm going to use, you know, I'm never really in that situation where the Sky Emperor glider would actually shine. Where I have to go like, you know, really, really far, really, really fast. It doesn't happen. I'm okay taking my time in those cases. Alright, where can I go farm? That's right, Cody. Oh wait, you guys can't hear Cody. I've got the air conditioner running right now, so that's why you guys can't hear it, because I have Crisp on, and I really just need to buy the, I just need to buy it for a year or something, because it's really good. I've been having a lot of, like, luck using it. I've watched back the streams to see how Crisp works, and it's actually really good. And it does seem to be learning, which is a little weird, because, like, the first time Cody yelled, Crisp didn't get it at all. You guys all heard Cody yell. The second time Cody yelled, immediately after that, nothing. Completely blank. It even kind of gargled up my voice a little bit, because I was talking at the same time. So there's something going on with Crisp where it's actually learning from things, from the looks of it, and trying to compensate for, like, things in the background that are repetitive, which is really cool. Oh, Primate just returned for a second. That was weird. Is the Sky Emperor faster than a mount? Yes. It is. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. It's the opposite in my head. Most mounts are actually faster than the gliders. I don't know quite about the Sky Emperor, but the Goblin Glider, even with its extended move speed bonus, it's still not faster than a mount. It's faster than some mounts, especially if they don't have the run boosts active. But generally mounts are going to be faster because they can go up to speeds of like, 20, 30 on average. Whereas gliders, I don't remember exactly what the numbers were for gliders. I remember we did that test years ago. I want to say it's like 11 meters per second or something for just a typical regular glider, not boosted or anything. So it's actually quite slow. Compared to mounted, essentially mounts with extra speed bonuses on them. I don't know what the Sky Emperor would be, though. I imagine the Sky Emperor would have the same forward movement speed as the Goblin Glider that I have, because my Goblin Glider has very high flight speed already, so I already matched the Sky Emperor there. The thing that sets the Sky Emperor apart is the speed ups. The ability to make the glider and nearby people around you who are allies also faster on their gliders. That's the big difference. And I don't have that, but I do have a teleport that could technically send me, theoretically, an infinite amount, assuming you get lucky on a whole bunch of coin flips. No, I'm not actually leveling up a pet, alright. Am I? I'm gonna talk to him. This is how sleepy I am. Let me level up a couple things. Let me level up you. Oh wait, I wanted to get the elk out of the way. Okay, let's get the elk out of the way. You. And did I get these done? No. Okay. Sure. We'll do these two. This is fine, right? Start working on the miners. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. Why did I start? I don't know, like, when Archeage Unchained came out, there became two categories on Twitch. I don't know whether or not that was because of Gamago requesting it, or just the fact that it was picked up because there are, like, different things on Steam or something. It could be just a Twitch thing. So I don't necessarily know what the culprit is there. But yeah, it does kind of... It splits the audience, and I've been complaining about that since it started to happen. It splits the audience. It kind of sucks. Yes, people know that I'm not playing in Legacy. You know what else it does, though? It splits the audience between the regions, too. Archeage Unchained is going to be all of the people who are on NA/EU, because Unchained is a very specific version of NA/EU. But you won't find any of the Korean streamers here. You won't find any of the, the Russian server streamers or the Japanese server streamers here, because they're just playing Archeage, right? It's not Unchained for them, it's just Archeage. Even the Garden server, the new one that came out that was essentially Korea's Unchained, or Russia's Unchained, they have one too. It's technically still Archeage to them, so you won't find any of them here. So, I don't necessarily know. I just started streaming under Unchained because everybody else was for a little while, and it started to become a trend with all the streamers, so I just decided to go with it. It sucks, though, because since it splits the audience, it means anybody who is searching Archeage and not Archeage Unchained is going to miss me. But it would be the opposite, too. Somebody could search Archeage Unchained, and if I was streaming under Archeage, I wouldn't be noticed, right? So honestly, I don't know what the best answer is for choosing a category. It's really, really weird. It's a very weird situation. I complained about this a long time ago. I even complained about it more recently as well when I got back into streaming. I asked, why is this still a thing? Can we get this changed? You know, it's kind of separating the audience, blah, blah, blah. But there hasn't really been any movement on it, and I'm not even sure who to go to, because it might not have been Gamigo's choice, right? It could have just been Twitch. Now keep in mind, Twitch's game listing is not like you can go and you can manually submit one as a request. You could say, hey, I'm making a game, it's going to be on Steam or whatever, here you go. But their actual game list is based on a website. It's actually based on an automated website that has a listing of every game. So if you're on that listing, you'll get picked up right away as a new game on Twitch. And it's just, that's how that works. That's an automated system, so nobody has to necessarily do anything. It might have, like, maybe you can't even request things anymore. Maybe the only way to become a new game on Twitch is to go to that website where they, you know, essentially pull all the games from and request it there. And that might just be what they do from now on. Because I remember they did this a while back. Because of this situation, however, since there are 2 games listed for Archeage on that website, where this, you know, where Twitch pulls their data from, that's what happened on Twitch. It's just, that's the outcome of what occurred. And it split the audience, and I don't think anybody has any real control over it now. Which is really, really strange. Oh, hold on. I'll be right back in a second. Alright, I'm back. Alright, and actually I have to keep up with this Discord too. Whatever this emergency network maintenance is, that looks like it's finished now. I think I've been logged in this entire time and I didn't get DC'd, so I don't know what that was all about. Oh, let me get this buff too. What do I have right now? PvE received damage? Nah. Alright. Anyways, what's going on? What were we talking about? I think we finished that combo. What are you up to, Art? Anything interesting? I remember my character in Legacy. It's the same one. Back in the day. It's exactly the same as this character. Except it doesn't have Swiftblade. Because that doesn't exist. I'm really proud about it. I'm more proud about this character, to be honest. Just because I've been able to progress this character so quickly and get all the same stuff because of all the catch-up mechanics that existed from the start, which they shouldn't have, but they did. You can tell you're watching Archeage with all the hopping. I know, I do a lot of hopping now. You have to, though. You actually have to hop now, by the way. That's the rule, because it does more damage. We actually figured that out, Lyson. Oh my god. I'm good. I'm having a blast. Everything's been really good. And it's good to see you again. Have you been playing at all, or have you been on just regular Archeage? I haven't seen you in a long time, so, and you haven't been streaming either, so it's good to see you again. You retired, oh my gosh. Well, welcome back to the stream. At least to say hi, you know. But yeah, the hopping, what I was referring to is that we have recently discovered that for 7 years of Archeage's existence, you actually do more damage to targets that are lower than you in elevation. And everybody went nuts. Even the Koreans went nuts. The Koreans had no idea about this. So when I brought it up on Reddit, they were just like, wow, I played this game for 7 years and I had no idea. That's crazy. So yeah, actually jumping does give you a small damage boost, as long as you time it properly for when you're actually doing the hit. That's a little bit of lag stuff there, but yeah, there's some more reason to be jumping around now in battle. As if there wasn't already. But can you believe it? I don't know if you... Maybe you knew this, maybe not. Maybe you're in a big group and you guys figured it out already, but most people had no idea. And it's existed the entire duration of Archeage. I mean, we had float as an archery skill that would send you up into the sky for a short period of time while you rained fire on people. Yes, you were completely vulnerable, but you probably did like a, I don't know, like a 7 to 10% damage bonus, which is pretty crazy, because no one ever knew about that. And it was never described anywhere. And, yeah, maybe float would have actually been taken more seriously if we had known that earlier. But anyways, it's because of things like that that we only just now really, you know, put up to the public. Because of things like that, the game has been out forever, and we only still discover mechanics. That's why I really, really enjoy Archeage. Because there's so much hidden stuff that, yeah, it'd be nice if we all knew up front, because it gives people more of like a positioning sort of gameplay. You know, people have to think about more where they're standing, what they're doing. But to go and discover it all and to bring it out into the public, I think that's still really, really, really cool. So I'm enjoying Archeage a lot. Which is kind of why I enjoy this character more, Art, than my Legacy character. Because, I mean, I've already progressed farther with this character than I have with Legacy. Granted, my Legacy character has the legendary buff from level 30 dungeon gear, but ever since the resilience changes like a year and a half ago, it's, you know, back when AAU came out, that doesn't really matter anymore. Oops. Can you offer me a challenge? Okay, what's your challenge? Because I'm not really doing anything too crazy right now. I'm just kind of chilling. I'll answer questions in chat. Like I said, I woke up from a nap. I was ridiculously sleepy, waking up from the nap, and now I have like tea in front of me. So I don't really want to do anything. I'm just kind of just chilling. Do sparring as a mage. Yeah, I mean, I have an ult. I don't really play it. I could do that, just for the hell of it. But it's like, I'd have to level up all the skill trees first, so I can do something like that at some point, just for the hell of it. I don't even know what mage I would play, because in reality, the kind of mage I would really think that I would enjoy is a melee mage. That is like, you're not actually trying to stay out of range. Now, melee mage does mean witchcraft, and in sparring and in all those arenas, witchcraft is pretty crazy. So my ideal mage that I would play in raid versus raid is something that is probably extremely toxic in 1v1. Okay, I get it, I know. Or not toxic, I would say, but cheesy, I think is the better term, right? Art. But I used to think about Demonologist a lot, actually. I had an ult that was a Demonologist. I said, oh, I'll do this on stream. The exact same situation we're talking about right now. I said, oh, I'll do this on stream. I'll play Demonologist as my ult, and we'll go into arenas, and we'll see how it is. But I never ended up doing that, because it just wasn't as fun to me as playing melee. Where is Witchcraft? Here it is. So that's Demonologist. Very, very classic thing. Now, I would... As a melee mage, this is probably still good. I would still replace Sorcery now with Malediction. Whoa, that's called Witch Doctor? Alright, guys. I'm doing this. This will be my ult. I'll make a Witch Doctor ult, and it'll just do arenas with Occultism, Witchcraft, Malediction. This is going to be a thing. Holy crap. I don't even think there's any synergy here, right? There's no synergy here between Malediction and the other two. Um, huh. I gotta think about this though. Oh my god, I can't believe it. It's called Witch Doctor. Thronto, you're a VDO player. Can you play Archeage and be a good player? Thronto, I've seen you around actually. Maybe not this stream, but others. Um, but I always have the same answer to that, which is we've had catch-up mechanics in this game for AAU since release, and that's a big complaint from people because it means that everybody got to really, really high gear scores really, really quickly, as opposed to like a regular old fresh start server where we'd have progression and you'd get, you know, certain gear progression unlocked over time. We just had it all up front. It was a big complaint. However, now it just means anybody can catch up really fast because all of those catch-up mechanics are in the game. They have been since the start, and the truth is that any player can become PvP competitive in just 1 to 2 months. It's not that hard. Meanwhile, you can still play classes that rarely die in combat and help out your team tremendously. These are backline classes that actually help out from the back lines more than any healer, not more than any healer, but on par with any healer, on par with any anything that people do in the back lines from like barding and such. And so I actually play a couple of these because no one else does. One of them is Wisfwalker, one of them is Eidolon. The point of these classes is that you're combining a lot of things together that help the backlines out constantly, non-stop, while crowd controlling in an AoE other people. These are really fun classes anybody can play at all. You don't need any gear for this, and it just requires a lot of knowledge and practice in the game. Then you spend your 1 to 2 months, you get the gear up that you want, and then you do whatever the hell you want. It's not really a big deal. So it's actually quite easy to catch up. I think a lot of people forget that... by the way, thanks for the follow. Fruck, awesome. I think a lot of people forget that we haven't, like, the people who played AAU since release, like me, we haven't just been working on our gear. We've also been working on mounts and pets, you know, combat pets, gliders, vehicles, our housing, our cosmetics, you know, upgrading the boats with the gear that we want. There's tons of other things that we've been working on. It's not just gear. So actually the catching up part, if you want to become a PvP-oriented player, is not that bad. It's actually quite easy to get to the point of a competitive level. Yeah, it's going to require a bit of grinding. You don't have to do it in the 2 months. You could take 4, right, and work on other things at the same time and just play at your own pace, while, again, playing backline support classes that are actually extremely meaningful, while you learn the game and get to know all the mechanics, etc. This is a question I get a lot, so I have an answer to it, Thron, so that's why I'm kind of going into it a bit, but I try to stress this as much as I can. That it's not that hard for anybody to get involved in the game in any kind of, you know, in a meaningful way. People are very afraid to do that in an MMO. But if you're playing an MMO for the purpose of an MMO, which is you want to play it for years, you could do it in Archeage right from the bat and have fun and figure out whether or not you want to continue playing. And it all works out really, really well. Just we kind of have a really negative community that you don't always hear this answer from. But this is the real answer that we know is true because, I mean, I've tested it twice, just to make sure that, you know, the game is still, you can still get to a competitive point really fast. I don't know, it's just, it's a really enjoyable game, so there's my answer to that. Lyson, you were saying, yeah, catch-up mechanics are important. It's not only that, but, like, yes, the game is designed with catch-up mechanics. I didn't like that, actually, because, again, we were given that directly at the very start of AAU, which is very awkward. This Archeage Unchained came out, we had everything. Just strange. But it does benefit players now. Number 2 is there's constantly catch-up events in the game. And, oh my god, I forgot the most important part. We're getting things in our version of the game later that are even stronger catch-up mechanics to get people to the endgame even faster, while still giving them enough time to actually learn things and to see how it works and to get into guilds and to start getting into whatever politics they want to in the game. There's even more things coming later that will continue to sort of enforce catching up players who may have taken a little break or whatever. And in Archeage Unchained we have the system of the Arc Pass, which is something that any player can take advantage of without having to pay any additional money, perfectly. And this is also a really big catch-up mechanic, because while some players in the endgame might be spending diligence coins on just fancy fun things, like mounts or things they don't need, maybe a car that they want to use. That could be pretty useful, but it's pretty expensive. Newer players can be using the same diligence coins on pure labor so that they can catch up a little bit faster, which is another thing from here that you can get. So there's a lot of mechanics in the game that were kind of designed to tackle the catch-up problem, which is cool, because it means that Archeage is an actual accessible game for people, and isn't painful to play anymore like it was in the past with so much RNG. But yeah, that's my long answer to it. It's a really long answer, so you probably can't clip that. But I really should probably just put this answer on YouTube or something, just as like a little highlight, because I get it a lot. I know that people are looking for this kind of statement. They're also looking for the statement that says why they shouldn't play. I think people actively look for that whenever they look for a new MMO, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But from my experience, I've had very, very good experiences with the games. So you know, I still do as much as I can to point out the bad things, but you know, because I want those things fixed just as much as anybody else. But I think for overall gameplay, it's pretty good. Alright, that's it. That's my answer to that. I went on for a little while. Sorry about that. But yeah, once you learn how the game works, exactly, Toronto, you should be more comfortable with things. It should make more sense. You've got the time for it, too. There's so many different combos and stuff in the game that, you know, reading everything is important, and you kind of learn that at the beginning that, oh, I should be reading everything, so otherwise I'm going to miss something. Plus, I do have a video on YouTube. I have 2 videos on YouTube, which still get a lot of views and still get a lot of positivity, which is crazy to me, because those videos are 3 years old. But those videos that I put out are how to PvP, and I actually rewatched the first video literally yesterday. I sat down and I watched the whole thing of me talking yesterday, and I cringed at a couple parts because I was like, I shouldn't have said that, or I said it weird. I did cringe, of course, because it's me, and I'm listening to myself. But I watched it for validation, because I wanted to make sure that everything was still up to date, you know, from a 3-year-old video. And while a lot of the skills and things have changed, the actual point of that video stays the same, and does help encourage people to understand how to play Archeage, and to sort of get more involved in mechanics and learning things. So, you know, I still recommend people to watch that video. If you're learning, you know, if you're just trying to understand better about the mentality of Archeage and what you should be looking for, and why it's so much fun in general. No, I'm just farming around because I just woke up from a nap and I'm sleepy, and I don't want to do anything crazy. So I thought, alright, I'll stream, I'll answer some questions from any new or returning players. I'll monitor the new player chat in the official Archeage Discord, so that I can point people to my stream. If anybody has any questions, I could just answer verbally and have a conversation with them on. And then that was going to be like my stream for today, because I don't want to do anything crazy, because I'm still feeling the grogginess of a nap, you know? So, and I'm just leveling up mounts at the same time. I'm not doing anything too crazy. I'm not stressing myself out. I'm not going to do arenas right now. I just, I'm taking it easy. Which I really shouldn't, because I actually need tons of Curios badges, but I don't stress myself anymore with this game. I'm not trying to achieve absolutely everything possible, because it doesn't make me happy, number one. And number two, I don't really gain anything out of it that's that important. So I'm not going to rush these Curios badges things that I want. I'm just kind of, you know, playing the game. You don't really need to anymore. There's no point in rushing things, because, well, especially not with Curios badges, not with what I'm trying to use them for, because I just want more mounts, which I don't need right now. And I'm just getting some achievements done with getting pets up to level 55 in the background. What's this? Nothing. Look at this. Okay. Nothing there either. Yeah, I'm just monitoring the other Discords. Lyson, by the way, I don't know if you're DS newbie back when you played, right, Lyson? Am I right about that? It's been a long time, so if I'm wrong, if you're actually somebody else, sorry. But that's who I remember your name as for some reason. Pretty sure. Yes. Oh, your old Twitch was PSNB. Okay, I got you. Lyson again. Yes, okay. Yeah, so when you stop, a lot of Legacy players are anti-Unchained. I've recently heard many of them are now playing Unchained. I mean, Legacy's gotten, like, for a new player to start in Legacy now is kind of a moot point, because, yes, there are catch-up mechanics, people can catch up, but the game requires a subscription to be able to catch up properly. Whereas here, you can pay a one-time fee of, you know, $20, $25, or whatever it is, and you get to play the game forever. Period. You don't have to spend any more money in this game. At all. Ever. And I think people are starting to realize that because of all the catch-up mechanics, it's actually not too hard to make a new character, get to the point where it's actually, like, useful for things. And, yeah, that's the other thing, right? Everybody thought it was going to be another fresh start. It's exactly it. That's exactly it, is they thought, oh, it's just going to be the fad for 2 months and then it'll be over. But it's been almost a year now, and the population has been, I don't know, great. I think also in part due to how well the cross-server arenas work and cross-server stuff works, and how much more of that is going to be coming to the game. But yeah, this is definitely the kind of Archeage that I'm happy with and I enjoy. It's had its issues too, absolutely. Issues that I was very quick to bring up, because they're, you know, every game has problems, and I want to make sure the game is fun for everyone and fair. But, you know, back with Legacy was plagued with so many other issues with, like, duping and like, having tons and tons of event items that people stocked up hundreds of that no one else has access to anymore, and all sorts of things that just don't exist on Archeage Unchained. Now you run into this, you know, you run into the problem of nobody wants to start in Legacy or in old servers anymore. And it's kind of a big problem, because I do feel bad for the Legacy players who are still there and don't want to start at all. But, you know, there's still fun in what they're doing too, right? People who are all at the end game, all fighting each other. It's probably more of a tight-knit community now in Legacy servers than it has been ever, which is maybe better actually in some cases. I hope that's the way it is. But yes, people are taking Unchained significantly more seriously now, and I think that's a good thing, because Unchained's potential is huge for being a buy-to-play game. And the diligence, like all of this stuff with the diligence coins, all of this stuff with the Arc Pass, this is a perfect system. There are issues that don't necessarily lie within this, like, this system that I think is perfect, the way that this all works. There are issues that come out of this with, like, diligence coins and stuff, but it's nothing too substantial, and it allows people to catch up pretty nicely, so it's pretty nice. Actually, this is really, really good for, you know, everything is accessible just for free. And if you want to get some cosmetic stuff, you can pay more money, which people do, because these are some pretty unique cosmetic things. There's hostile weapon skins here. Lyson, you remember those? They're all here. I don't want any of them, but somebody could pay the cosmetic, you know, branch for this. It's essentially Battle Pass, and then they'd get all these things on the right side. I know, right? Yeah. The old hostile skins, they're all empowered, so they all have the glow to them, I think. But I never really liked those glowy skins anyways, but they decided to put it in here because, you know, they're in the game anyways. Why not put them as cosmetic skins? Just great. That's awesome. That's how it should be. For an MMO of the scale, people want to, like, literally, Archeage is now playable forever. For anybody that owns, like, you never have to own a subscription anymore for land or anything. And again, there are issues with that too, and I was quick to identify those issues also. One of the biggest issues is people can hold onto land forever, just having to log in every 5 weeks. It's completely true. It means that there's going to be a lot of land that's kind of locked up, and it's concerning, but it doesn't necessarily stop people from buying land. There's still tons and tons of land on sale, you know, even almost a year after release. It's on sale for really good prices that you can just, you know, buy from people or whatever, or haggle with people. So, you know, the issue exists, but it's not necessarily a big deal, which is good. Trace this thing down. On Legacy, all your stuff is gone. Walked away from the game, your stuff gets nuked. Yeah, that's another thing, is that with Legacy, right, you're kind of punished for not playing. And the same thing exists in Archeage Unchained, but now you don't have to pay money for a subscription to not be punished, right? You do have to log in once every 5 weeks. That is a significantly smaller price to pay than having to also keep up your subscription for years right, and not actually be playing the game, which was a huge negative thing for the community. Okay, fine, log in once every 5 weeks, update your houses, and then you play later. Maybe you do an event, you notice something interesting, and then you start playing again, for no monetary loss of your own, because you don't have to pay for a subscription. It is one of the nicest things that this publisher has done, honestly. And I think people are kind of quick to forget that when they go and complain about stuff. Not that there's anything wrong about complaining. Again, I complain about stuff too. It just means we love the game. But people do still forget that this was a really, really great idea. It was done here first, and then later on, you know, the experiment here that Excel did, they did it over in their territory, over in Korea as well, you know, in their country. And it worked really, really well, and it's got a very, very positive sort of vibe to it. So, overall, I'm very happy with how things have been. And there are always going to be more and more things that I'm fighting for, that I want for the community to help and to make things more interesting. So I will never stop. I'm not going to stop yelling about things. But I do it properly. I put up forum posts. I put up really, really huge text documents about suggestions and things. And I try to be as clear and concise as I can, and positive as well as I can about any suggestions that I make. Like, one of the big things that I'm fighting for right now is to get the wiki back in game, because we have a wiki thing here, but this is a broken link, and I've been yelling all over the place at everybody that I can. I made a forum post about it recently. I've been trying to do anything to push that more than anything else lately. And I would totally contribute tons of stuff to it. It's just we don't really have an official place to do it. So that's like one thing that I've been lately really, really pushing and working on. So I'm not going to stop yelling and trying to make things better. Whether it's annoying to people, I don't know. I hope that I actually do my suggestions in a much more positive and interesting and even fun way sometimes. The way that I write, the way that I present things to people. I try to do it in a very positive note. Art, actually, I don't know, Art, you still in here? Maybe not. But I know Art was, I PM'd him a post that I made from 2015? 2017, maybe? And actually, let me pull that up really quickly, because it's actually a very important post. Give me 1 second. This is going to take a second, because I have to go to the official forums, and I need to, I don't need to log in, I don't think. Whatever, we'll log in. Give me 1 second. But in premise, while I'm doing this, I wrote up a post several years ago. This was while Muzzy was the CM for the game. And the post actually, I did this all the time. I always would put up suggestion posts. This particular suggestion post, however, was one with a ton of different suggestions in it. It was a huge, huge post of a ton of different things, not just one thing, like most of my suggestions. This was a combined effort of everything I could come up with to make the game more interesting and fun. And, is this it? No, that's not it. Gosh, where was this? What did I even call it? Aha, list to make Archeage more streamable and watchable. Watchable and streamable. So this was from the perspective as a streamer. I'm going to post this into chat. Where is it? Here it is. List to make Archeage. There we go. So, and I wrote this when? I wrote this in 2017. Actually, yeah, almost exactly 3 years ago. I wrote this almost exactly 3 years ago. And just look through this. Look, I mean, if you... Here, should I put it up on the screen? Put it up on the screen. I actually have a thing for that now. I can put things up on the screen pretty quickly. It just takes a second because it's a plugin for OBS that I really enjoy using. Okay, this isn't the whole post, but it's part of it. Enable preview, and then expand this. Alright, the post that I have from 2016. these are my suggestions. Remove the rebirth timer, not letting you queue up to stuff, because that was annoying for streamers, you know, have to wait 5 minutes if you died. That's done. That happened. Remove arena limits. Turn bruiser badges back into 15 gold. Enable daily honor limit per arena type. So now you can only gain... But my suggestion here was that you can only do the arena and gain something out of it X amount of times. And then you can just use the bruiser badges as well. Done. This happened. Cross-server arenas, I think, were already in the works. That's happened. Bring back showing our own class skill sets just above the health bar. That didn't happen. Which sucks, because I still think that's pretty important, but because it helps just for people that walk into a stream and see what you're playing. Increase the time of 3v3 arena queue before it says no opponent found. This is kind of fixed. Remove auto entry. This was fixed. Boost conflict zone gold. This was also in a way fixed because conflict is not a thing anymore. It just lasts 10 minutes before war. So they kind of changed how this works in a much better way than what I suggested. Display amount of gold and loot drop rate in conflict. Yeah, this never happened. I hate this. You have to actually zone into a place to be able to see how much the gold and loot drop rate bonus is. We got the boat arena. That was a whole thing. Allow quick access. So anyways, and this goes on. So if you go to the link that I sent, there's more to it than just this stuff that I suggested. But my point is that I made this post 3 years ago, and Muzzy had commented on this and said, I'm totally bringing this up, and a lot of the stuff actually happened. And people do care. People do see that there is merit, you know, to making the game more streamable and watchable. There's merit to taking these suggestions and doing something about them. It is just a slow process. It absolutely is, and it's a shame that that is that way. That's what I don't like. It's what most people don't like. But you can bring up stuff positively on the forums, and it will actually go somewhere. It's people kind of forget that too. And I've done it many times. This isn't the first post or the fifth that I made. I've made quite a few, and a lot of them were taken... All of them, from what I understand, all of them were taken very seriously, which is cool. I was actually known for this kind of thing, which is awesome. But, like within the team, I don't know whether that was true or not, it's just what I was told by somebody from the team. But that's a good feeling, number one. Number two is that all of the posts that people make are actually taken really seriously, and just people don't really understand that. Even if somebody's shouting and swearing about something, that post is still taken seriously. It might be, you know, removed because they swore too much or because they were saying, or they were insulting someone or whatever. But the idea of the post is still forwarded because it's up to the developers to find the core problems of the game to fix those based on what people are complaining about. I complained about conflict zones. The conflict doesn't give enough gold or anything, so people during that hour of conflict would just not go there because what's the point of conflict? The developers must have looked at that note and said, you know what, there's a better idea. Let's just get rid of conflict completely. We'll make it like 10 minutes as a warning and then it'll be done. That's a much better solution than what I suggested. But what they did properly is they looked at my suggestion, maybe, and they said, you know what, this is a good point. We can solve this in a better way. And that's correct. It just takes a long time for these kind of things to happen. That's the sad part. So going back into chat to see what you guys are talking about. Fronto, yeah, Art is sometimes in hell. See, now he's switched to East, so you'll see him on the East side. It is really, really funny to watch dwarves jumping around and doing silly things like cartwheels. It's actually one of the most entertaining things ever. Especially the male dwarfs, and their animations are so funny. And I know a lot of people complain about the labor system. It's, I have mixed feelings now, because I also used to I understood it, but there were issues with it that absolutely existed. It's a weird, different world we live in now. Because labor... Somebody... I had a big conversation with somebody, back when AAU came out about this. Maybe it was on stream, maybe not. And they kind of changed my mind, which is actually cool. Because I like getting my mind changed about stuff. Because that means that I didn't see something and I learned. So, I don't know, maybe this will change your mind too, Fruck. But, so I had a conversation with somebody, and they had essentially noted that labor was designed around pay-to-win. That it was actually designed by Axel Games in Korea to be able to buy infinite labor for money, to be able to get more labor whenever you wanted it, and that was the thing. And it's actually, like, if you think about it, it really is. It absolutely was. And I didn't notice that, I didn't click it, but it's completely right. So for them to put in a labor system in AAU that included using diligence coins for labor I thought was really bad at first, because it meant it would skyrocket progression. However, it was designed to be that way anyways, and with how much diligence coins we get, it's essentially giving us infinite labor. It also lets people catch up much better, which is awesome, because now they've released things in the diligence shop which are extremely expensive, right? And people can choose to get those things. Where's what I'm looking for? Here. Instead of getting labor. So, for example, anybody that got the Rampage Chroma from here, that's 1,500 diligence coins. That 1,500 diligence coins is the same as if you absolutely maximize your labor capacity how you need it to, like 1 per day, essentially, by getting these labor potions, right? So that's 150 times 2. I'm sorry, yeah, so 300, that's 300,000 labor. Less than that, but 300,000 labor that you could have had versus getting a car. 300,000 labor. And it's kind of interesting because it actually works out really well for the diligence coins and how that works. It actually kind of makes sense. Yeah, exactly. I understand the labor reduces. Yeah, well, like I said, it's less than that, right? That's not really 300,000 labor, but it's a lot. My point is that the system is kind of designed to. It limits people in some way, sure, but it almost does make it the same pay-to-win old system with how much labor you're able to get, still limiting it, but people are able to catch up a bit better, which is nice. So it does make sense. I also never use labor in this game. I actually am constantly labor capped. And the reason is because I make labor in other ways, either by helping people and getting paid for that, or more commonly is I just do a lot of things on the auction house. I buy and sell things, and that's just my way to make money. But I know that that's not common to people. I don't like trade runs. I don't like farming. I don't even like, you know, I'll kill mobs and open up labor with the coin purses just because I need to spend it, right? But that's my way to play. It's not everybody's way to play, for sure, because I take risks on the auction house for that. But it does mean that, you know, people have to take a break every day, and they can't, you know, don't just play 24/7. It does, yes, it does mean that people are going to get multiple accounts, and so you're allowed 3 accounts here, and people will maximize that capability. But what's nice about that is that the gains for having those other accounts is usually significantly less. So you can have a second and third account. I have a second, for example. I don't have a third. You have a second and third account, and I don't really play mine, but people do, and they'll usually be okay with having that account, you know, spend all of its labor as quickly as possible on something like tax certs, which is still pretty profitable, but nowhere near as profitable as using labor properly for, like, specific things. So, pretty much, my point is that, you know, your main character still ends up spending its labor more profitably, and alt accounts spend it less profitably, which means, you know, even if you don't have 3 accounts, you're not super far behind. And again, because of the gear curve and how everything sort of curves where you have to spend more money to get more powerful with less actual values, like, you know, in the end game you pay 1,000 gold to get 1 more melee attack, whereas in the early game you pay 100 gold to get 10, right? That curve that happens means that, you know, you don't need, like, the craziest gear in the universe to be competitive. You can really become competitive in the first couple months and be fine, and have no problems. You can even play backline support classes really, really, really well, which are extremely powerful classes that people overlook. So you don't need to play multiple accounts. Again, I only have 2, and I hate using this. I hate alts. I really do. I hate the gameplay involved with having to maintain multiple accounts. It is not fun to me, and it doesn't make me have fun. Like, so I try to avoid it as much as I can. And so, I don't know, it's been fine. And yeah, again, I don't really use my labor anyways, so I do things a little differently, but I'm not trying to get to the highest gear scores because I don't see the stats being worth it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Gear score in itself is flawed. Everybody looks at gear score, but it's such a flawed mechanic. Like, God, I can go on forever about how badly gear score is designed. Just, it's all bad. Yeah, so these you're totally right, Frank. There are things that need a bit of a fix. Totally. I don't think that they'd go and ruin the experience for people. I don't think that, like, people like, like to overreact about some of the issues of Archeage, which is fine. Again, it's totally cool. Nothing wrong with even overreacting or anything. It's good to point out problems. It means that, you know, people care about the game. But I think that we talk too much about the power gap. When in reality, if people just play different classes or try to play differently, or you know, playing melee against a mage isn't going to always work out for you because of how crazy evasion can be currently. And yeah, that's being addressed in a later patch. But in general, you know, if you're complaining as a melee against a mage in a 1v1, you know, find a different way to address the specific problem that you're up against. You know, not every class is going to be able to beat every other class. That's correct. Because this game is balanced around raid versus raid. So people complain about all sorts of stuff, which is fine, but things just need a bit of a fix. I totally agree with that. And those are the kinds of things that I bring up. Here's what doesn't feel right. Here's what doesn't make sense, or it feels bad to a player, or feels negative, or stops progression, or is exploitable. These are the kind of problems that I bring up, because I can see them helping in the long term with very minimal development efforts. Those are the kind of suggestions that I make. But overall, I'm really happy with Archeage. I mean, it's been a crazy, you know, 5+ years of this game's existence. But I've been here, you know, through thick and thin, because I enjoy the game, and I play it solo. I mean, I have friends all over the place, but I mainly play myself. And I do my own thing. I have my friends, and, you know, I hang out with people, and I get invited to stuff. And when people need my help for a trade run, I go with. And when I need help, I just pick on people, and they come with. And that's cool. And I don't recommend people play solo. Granted, I do. This game is significantly more fun with people. I don't limit to myself to a guild, right? I limit myself to the universe, so it's a little different for me. I still consider that I play solo, because I do most of the things myself. But you can play Archeage however you want, which is awesome. But yeah, it totally needs a bit of a fix. Absolutely, dude. If a game didn't need a bit of a fix, that's strange. That doesn't make any sense to me, because every game is not going to be perfect for everyone. Archeage tries to open itself out to as big of a community as it can. The other day, not the other day, but like a week ago, this is a good story, actually. I'm just trying to think of how to present it, because I think I've only said it once. Hey, Always Gaming. It's going pretty good. We're talking about Archeage-related stuff again, as usual, with my streams. If anybody has any questions, feel free to burst in and ask your Archeage questions, by the way. God, the gear script problems, too. So let me start with this first. So a couple weeks ago, I needed to get some titles for fishing, okay? Because I've been farming titles. I'm trying to get to title level 3, because I want some of these icons that unlock with it. And so I've been kind of farming titles, and there's a couple ones for fishing that I needed. So I went out, and I said, you know what, fine. I'm going to take my speedboat, and I'm just going to fish for what I need. And if I don't get the fish that I want, that I need to make a trophy of, I'm just going to dump it and try again. And I went out, and I accidentally found with my fishing boat, no, I'm sorry, with my speedboat, I found a fishing boat that was green with 2 people on it that were just fishing, and I fished next to them. I didn't even say anything. And then eventually, I was like, alright, you know, I'll come over, I'll help you guys out. I actually took them back and forth on my speedboat to make, you know, travel a little faster when we needed to go back and forth from places. You know, I kind of became friends with them, and we were able to find one of the trophies that I needed, and I just hung out with them for a little bit fishing, you know, chilling, which I hadn't done in years, probably. Which was nice. It was a cool change of pace, number one. And number two, I asked them, hey, if you guys get that second trophy, can you just send it to me and I'll pay you double what the thing is worth? And they're like, yeah, totally, no problem. And it was done, you know, within the same day. They kept fishing, doing their own thing. They weren't necessarily that high gear score, they just played the game for fun. And I got the trophy I needed in the mail, which that was amazing, you know. It was cool. It's a cool little experience that happens just from hanging out with people. And it's a story, right? It's a story that occurs with my player character and other people's player characters. I'll probably never talk to those people again, honestly, because they don't even speak English that well. I think they're Portuguese based on like their boats' names and stuff, which is cool. But that was like a little experience I had randomly that was just really nice. And I don't think you can get that very often in different games. You do, but in different ways, right? And Archeage definitely delivers a unique experience in that sense. This is Win server. And yeah, I don't do farming, but that's my personal thing, you know? I kind of did, because I have a mushroom house now that's upgraded, so I'm kind of doing farming a little bit the lazy way, but only because I'm doing a little bit of experimenting around values and profit. But you know, we could still play, you know, through the cross-server arenas and stuff, Ruck. When the garden comes out, if Jurgent, whatever faction you're on, is on the same garden server as Win West, dude, we'll totally play together. We'll team up if we're in the same faction. We'll fight each other if we're not. It's cool. I love it. That's what I like about that, the whole garden setup. It'll be really interesting. There is, yeah, there's tons of BRs playing, totally, which is cool. I've actually been in a couple of BR guilds, made a lot of friends. There's a little bit of toxicity that everybody is aware of, including the, you know, the Brazilian folks and everybody that speaks Portuguese. They totally know that they're toxic sometimes. But it's cool. It's actually, I guess it's been around in Archeage since the beginning, though, so it's nothing new. But yeah, it's cool to just hang out with different people anyways. Like, I love hanging out with people across the planet. It's very cool. Friends from all over the place. No, I know, Lyson. I didn't just steal all their fish. First of all, I don't even care about fish. I didn't want to do anything with fishing. I gave them all the fish that I got. I just wanted the trophies, and I just helped them, you know, go from place to place faster. And I was just chilling. I was having a good time. They loved it, of course, because they got a little taxi. They called it an Uber, which is totally true. I just hung out for a little while with strangers on the internet. Nothing weird here. But it's cool, man. I love that kind of thing. Oh, you playing Win? And you got a BR guy doing some stuffs in your alt taxes. I don't know what that means. I'm not gonna ask questions. I know my alt does taxes and things. My alt, that's all it does, is it makes tax certs, it does diligence coin stuff, and then it logs off. Because I don't like alts. I hate alts. It's not fun gameplay to me. And then I know people who have like 6 characters between 3 accounts, you know? And they do all the alt stuff, and they get all the things in every alt. And that's cool. If they want to do it, awesome. I would never have the patience for that. I just want to work on my main character. And I never want to log on to another one, ever. But my alt looks like Nicolas Cage. I designed it on purpose. I tried to make it as fun for myself as possible so I wouldn't feel as much of a drag playing it. It's called Oh God, Not the Bees. It looks a little bit like Nicolas Cage, and he used to handle my bee farm. Now it just does taxes, really. I wanted to make one more point, also, before we continue, really quick. But again, if anybody wants to interrupt with other Archeage-related questions, feel free to. I want to make a point against gear score, which I talk about a lot. I know. I'm going to do this on purpose. Let me just drink my tea. Okay, can I just say how bad gear score is? It's a terribly designed thing, because these are just completely random numbers that are assigned to different gear and gems and frosts and everything that have no actual merit behind the numbers that are assigned to them. Okay? You can take a gem and slot it into your gear, put it into your weapon, just a tier 1 gem, okay? And it gives you like 30, let's say it gives you 36 defense penetration, and that's 30 gear score for 36 defense penetration. If you upgrade that gear with honor, that one gem rather with honor, you double how much defense penetration that gives you. It goes up to like 64. But the gear score value does not increase by 30, it increases by 6, which is a significantly less amount than the actual stats that you just gained. So what is the point of the gear score system when the stats you get from a costume and the gear score equivalent of how much those costumes gives you is nowhere near how much gear score you get from just an offhand, that your offhand doesn't even participate any more than just a stat stick, yet your costume contributes significantly better stats, way more than anything your offhand would ever be able to do. It should not be gear score, right? It needs to be something that makes more sense based on the stats you're getting from it, so that people don't just put in whatever gems they can into their wrists because they just want to get the highest gear score they can get out of it, right? It needs to be an actual value based on these stats. I've been talking about stats score a lot and how much more sense a stats score can make. If you have to have some stupid little competition between trying to get people to outgear each other, which I don't agree with, and it just makes the game a lot worse, but apparently that's what they have to do, right? We have a whole leaderboard for it that people stress out over if you're in the top 100 in the item grades leaderboard here, right? Everybody's trying to fight for rank 1 for some reason. Instead of that, we could have just a stat, like if you have to have it, fine, but do it as a stat score, based around the actual stats that your character gets, and like just the base stats from the actual equipment itself. And you count all those stats up based on what kind of stat it is and give those kind of stats a score, and there's your actual gear score or stat score. That makes more sense, infinitely more sense, because it's based on what you're actually socketing and not just putting things in that don't make any sense. That would make more sense. But it never happened that way, and I doubt they're going to change at this point. And now we have this ridiculous system for gear score that is just really archaic and stresses people out, and people judge each other based on gear score when it doesn't make any sense, because the actual value you get from high gear scores isn't always going to make somebody completely unable to be killed, right? It just means that that person has gear that is of a higher rarity, but it doesn't necessarily mean very much for the actual stats that gear gives. Especially with the scaling and higher stats with different gears that exist. There's my little spiel. Sorry. But I do talk about it a lot. I really don't like it. It's a really negative system. I wish that it was changed. I wish people didn't think too much about gear score. I wish this top 100 list did not exist. I feel like if the top 100 list didn't exist, the average gear score that people would have would be like 10 to 20% less, because nobody's fighting each other over this. And trying to be in the top 100 or something. It would be much better, much more positive, but unfortunately that's kind of the situation that we're in, and I doubt it's going to change anytime soon. How was that? Was that a good little speech? Does it make any sense? Should I put that one up on YouTube? I should put that up on YouTube and just send it over to Game-A-Go and be like, listen, can you just pass this to Excel? Because, man, ugh. It's a gross system I'm not a fan of. Only causes negative actions in gameplay. What do I think about upgrading resilience or toughness Lunagems for damage reduction? Yeah, do both. It's really, really important to do that. Maybe not in the early game. Focus on using honor for other things if you can. Like, I'm doing the honor route for these because I don't want to spend gold on this stuff. I'm okay with the honor route. I'm okay with the 10% less stats I'll get at the end, which is fine. When the garden comes out, the honor gems can go up to tier 1 plus 6. But also the... By the way, right now the Animar event is going on if anybody wants to go do that. I'm not. So they go up to tier 1 plus 6, and yes, there's a tier 4 Lunagem, which is probably going to be even more expensive than ever. So I'm glad that I'm going the honor route, because I'll still get better than tier 3 gems, just by going tier 1 plus 6. But resilience toughness is really good. Toughness especially, because it just completely negates PvP damage, or mitigates PvP damage to some certain degree. But it does curve off, whereas resilience currently, in its current state, is a linear gain, where you are, the more resilience you get, the less crit rate and less crit damage your opponents actually have on you whenever they do damage at you, right? Whenever they actually affect you with some kind of hit. So both of them are really, really important to staying alive. Damage reduction itself is extremely important to staying alive, and keeping in mind that the longer you can stay alive, the more you can do in a battle. You might not always be able to burst somebody down, but to be able to soak up more damage is helpful for your team. To be able to go and crowd control people for a little longer is still helpful for your team. If you're a healer, staying alive is extremely important because you're a healer and you better start healing people, and including yourself, because it makes it easier to heal yourself too if you're not dead. So overall, yeah, damage reduction is a really, really important aspect in this game, and it's why they kind of put it on every single Haram gear, was because if you're going to catch up in this game with Haram gear, you're going to be as defensible as possible with it. And I think they did a really good job at making that into a thing. If you want to see the actual values for toughness and resilience and how that works, I think there's graphs all over Reddit, but I don't have those for you. The most I can tell you is that when you get to 3,000 toughness, that at that point, like somewhere near that point, you're actually gaining less than a percent. What is it? Less? the toughness you gain over 3,000 gives you like a reduced amount of actual defenses, which is why if you have like 3,000 toughness, for your chest you wouldn't want to put another toughness gem in there. You actually want to put receive damage minus 3%, because if you added more toughness at this point, it'd be less than 3% that you're gaining. You know, from the 350 versus 335 toughness versus doing a 3% gem. The 3% gem makes more sense at this stage, if that makes any sense. So like 3,000 plus toughness is nice. The resilience is really good because I believe at 15,000 resilience, it gives you 150% reduction in crit damage taken. Some other values I don't remember. But that's like one of the maximum amounts of resilience you can get, really. It's really, really hard to get that. So yeah, 8,000 to 10,000, really, really good. That's a great amount of resilience. And you're at that stage. Not the same as what I'm doing right now. Very, very similar Thronto as my current state. And I can survive really, really well. I play melee in Raid versus Raid generally. And I play extremely, extremely fast. I try to play as fast as I can. I try to stay in a fight. I don't just run away and get my burst stuff back. I'm a sustained build with Swift Blade, so I try to do things constantly. I'm always doing something in a fight. And I'm able to stay alive for a pretty long time. When I play my backline support builds, which I really enjoy, I actually really have started enjoying those more, not as much as melee, but because nobody else is playing backline support classes, they have been a blast to play. So I play, for example, Eidolon's my favorite one right now, where I have like Flame Wings, I have Health Lift because nobody ever wants to pop Health Lift, I have AoE Shield with Thwart, I have AoE Snare, AoE Bubble, AoE Silence, that also does a whole bunch of other things. Banshee's Wail, Teleport to get myself out of a fight. I can Meditate to reset all these things. Leech is amazing. I have a lot of things. I have AoE Freerunner. So I play this class when I'm not trying to do damage, I'm just trying to help people. And I survive with this build like the entire fight until the absolute very end. And I'm able to just constantly pump things out, constantly throw things out, help out my teammates, crowd control a bunch of enemies. Positioning is extremely important in this build, so it's a lot of fun to play. And I mean, I have the stats that I do. I don't really switch my gear too much. The only exception is that I switch my weapons out for this, the Disciple Staff. And what it does is it petrifies people who are within this kind of triangle of distance, up to 25 meters away if they're looking at me, and they are just petrified. And I actually micromanage this. I get people out of it on purpose when I think they're about to die, or when we're about to like tackle them down, and then I try to look back and get other people affected by the petrify. I do a lot of things strategically with that, and in the Eidolon build, because first of all, it's a lot of fun, and it just works. It works really well. But yes, my whole point is that survivability is at this stage is really good. But this defense penetration, what are you saying here, Toronto? But this defense penetration do the difference against the defenses. So yeah, I'm a defense penetration build. My defense penetration is currently base at 6,500, a little under 6,500. And this completely counters physical defense. So if I was versing myself, what would happen is that, I have 9,771 defense. If I can bring this down to 0, I would be doing 55% more damage against myself, right? Which is pretty nice. That's kind of the point of a defense penetration build, is to counter the physical or magic defense, depending on what defense penetration you have, as much as possible of the opponent. And in an actual raid versus raid scenario, your defense values are much increased because of buffs and barding, but also your defense penetration is increased as well because of buffs and because of like passives and different abilities and weapons, or different stacks of stuff. So that's just kind of how this works with my build. I think that answers the question, right? Yeah. You can also play a crit damage build. That's what I played for 5 years, for a very, very long time in Archeage Legacy. I decided to go defense penetration here because I wanted to change things up a little bit, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I think it's cool. It's been tougher because I don't know, I like to challenge myself in different ways, so I have to play a lot better as a player if I don't have enough defense penetration to really pierce through someone's defenses entirely. So I have to learn sustainability. I have to learn how to stay in combat for a long time without just having to ditch away to get my cooldowns back. So I play like that. And I always played like that anyways with my old gear and on Legacy and stuff. So this isn't anything new to me, but I enjoy playing the game that way. It's more fun. I don't like the bursty kind of combat where you do everything you can, everything's on cooldown, and then you go and you stealth somewhere else and you wait for all your cooldowns to come back. I personally don't enjoy that kind of gameplay, so I stay away from it. And so the way I play is a little different, but defense penetration has been fun. I think it's good. I think either route you take, defense penetration or crit rate, in the end game it's going to be just about the same damage anyways. One of them is just more based on RNG, right? Crit. And than the other one. And that's kind of how that is. Plate tank takes less damage from melees and archers because of the high physical defense. Yes. Plate is really, really meant to counter physical, for sure. It just means a mage is going to be able to take them down a little bit easier, right? There are ways that a plate tank can make up for that by using like a magic shield, a shield that does magic resistance and stuff. They'll maybe also use, like on Haram gear, they'll put in magic reduction instead of physical reduction, or instead of like max health or something. So they can, kind of make up for the fact that their defenses are mostly plate, so they have to also do magic reductions, right? There are ways to kind of put both of those together. But that's why, like, raid versus raid is really fun, because you'll find all sorts of different people, and it takes a ton of skill to be able to go into a fight as a melee and say, alright, who are the cloth wearers? Who do I fight? Who am I looking for? How do I lock those people down? How do I get them out of the fight? How do I crowd control them? How do I cause issues for them? How do I kill them, right? Like, it takes a lot of skill to be able to do all of that in a fight, and I enjoy that a lot. So I look for the people who I can kill faster, and I take those people out. Right, healers I try to disable for as long as I can. In my Curse Brand build, I have a lot of different ways to do that. I can Boneyard people with me to kind of isolate them away. Then I can isolate them further by using Absorbed Life Force to reduce their self-healing, to reduce their received healing by 60% for a long time, as long as I don't get crowd controlled. And I try to kill people in that boneyard and disable people very quickly, while also just annoying the hell out of everybody else trying to get to me because I'm inside of a boneyard. Boneyard is really glitchy and fun. Yeah, hopefully I answered a bit of your questions there. It's there's so much to Archeage that it's like impossible to cover everything in one kind of a stream, but that's why I like to help people with at least brainstorming and coming up with new ideas. Archeage is more fun when you are thinking for your own self. That's why everybody who's like, oh, what's the best, what's the best class to play with? Give me a build. I try not to give people direct builds. I try to show them the possibilities instead and say, look at all these options you have. If you come up with a build yourself, you're going to have so much fun in this game. Way more fun than if somebody just gave you a build and you're trying to learn it. Come up with a build for yourself based on what you want to do, and it's more cool. So that's why I try to answer questions by like a little differently too than most people. But what do you think is the best main hand for melee? There's no best, right? And it's kind of the same thing as what I was just talking about. I can't give you guys like a perfect. There's no best of anything in this game. And once you kind of realize that, you start seeing the beauty of Archeage. You can really pick anything you want, just based on what you want to do. As long as you know what the differences are, you're good. And there are a lot of differences, so for anybody lurking, maybe you already know this, Fruck, but I'll go over it very shortly. Weapons in this game, for melees, and eventually other damage types, kind of, they actually make your melee skills faster or slower, or do more or less damage based on their attack speed on the weapon. So I don't know if you can see this on stream, but an axe that I have here has an attack speed of 1.1. This means that it is 10% more damaging with all of the melee skills that I do, specifically melee skills. But all of the animation times and the global cooldown of the melee skills is also reduced. Is increased by 10%, so it's a little slower. 10% slower for 10% more damage. I have a dagger offhand. And the reason for this is because in PvE, usually, I'll switch these up.
or in PvP when I'm not trying to kill people. Now, a dagger with an attack speed of 0.8 means that I'm actually performing at 30% less damage than my axe. However, I'm 30% faster. So now if you watch my abilities, I can do things significantly quicker with all of my specifically melee abilities, right? Everything that I have happens much quicker. All of my animation times, all of the global cooldowns, I do a lot less damage, but in general I can perform faster. And if I ever need to do this in a battle, I'll do it. I'll switch. I'll weapon swap between axe and dagger, and I'll do things faster to get things done, right? If I need to, for whatever reason, I need to perform with speed rather than hits. So that's another thing to consider. And then you have also the weapon type. The weapon damage type, like crushing, or piercing, or slashing, which is, as you just mentioned, Fruck, a whole other thing to think about too. In addition to everything else, all of the armor types take more or less damage, well, more damage from something else. So, my complete leather set will take 15% more damage from slashing attacks. What slashing attacks are, and what any of these are, is that there is a 50% chance for your weapon to proc against a specific armor type and do more damage. So, since I'm in leather, anybody who's attacking me with melee slashing attacks has a 50% chance to do 15% more damage. You'll notice this happens because it will be in the combat log, and it will say additional damage received from something else, and that's actually this proc, essentially. There's a lot of different things to think about when it comes to melee with weapons, and eventually this is also going to affect other damage types too. But they've kind of changed it a little bit. So there's a lot of things in this game that they're kind of doing. The Gardener update introduces a little bit of it. And then the later update makes it so that magic is also affected. Magic and healing and everything is also affected by attack speed. However, they changed the values on some of the things. So Scepter right now is 1.3. I'm sorry, 1.2. Once it actually works with magic, they're putting that to 1.0, so it's the same as it is right now, but they're making staves 1.3, which means that staves will do 30% more damage with any magic abilities or healing abilities or anything like that. And even shields are going to have a like a number on them too. There's a whole ton of stuff going on, but essentially just means that, you know, attacks with magic will be 30% slower if you use a staff, but do 30% more damage. So there's a trade-off there, similar to that of melee. That's much later, much later patch. I don't know when we'll get that one. Could be a year, who knows. But at least for right now, yeah, it just mostly affects melee. So there's a ton of things to think about. There's no wrong decision. That's the important thing. With all of this in mind, Frock or anybody, there's no wrong decision with what you choose. Just choose whatever you think is coolest to you. If you want to go double dagger because you just want to be extremely fast and you want to have fun that way, do it. It's fine. It means that you'll be able to get your crowd control off before other people, which is, in a lot of ways, really important, because you can guarantee damage that way. Or you can force people to use their defiance in battle early, and once that's popped, once you've got them in that position, you can do whatever you want with them as a follow-up. If you've, you know, sort of if you've encouraged them to use Defiance early, you can punish them for that, right? So there's really no wrong way to play with it. It's just different gameplay styles. And once people kind of identify that, I think it helps a lot. But there is a lot of thinking in Archeage of how you want to play, what style you want to play as, and a lot of people don't know that. And so they'll either drop Archeage early because they don't know these things, or they learn them too late and they feel like they can't go back, which isn't true. Like I said, I've been pushing a lot for like an in-game wiki or something again, something where all of this information can live. It would be really nice to have this information accessible to anybody anybody who's just curious about stuff or wants to learn more can go to some place and learn, right? Without having to talk to anybody, without having to watch through YouTube videos, right? Without having to watch through 15-minute YouTube videos just trying to pick apart specific things. I don't like that. It's not fun for me. And so I don't think it would be fun for many other people either. Turn on the volume a little bit more of the music. Yeah, most is old and wrong. Yeah, totally. And you know, if people were, I don't know, yeah, most is old and wrong, and it sucks that's the way it is, because the game does keep changing from under our feet. So an official wiki that we can definitely say, yes, this will definitely last, this is definitely where we want to update all the information, would be really cool. Because I have no problem after a patch being like, oh, let's go change all these things that changed. Done. Cool. Now it's up to date. I would have no problem doing that. Especially if it, you know, if people are really benefiting from it. If it's in-game in a way that people really do know that it exists and use it frequently. Recently I put up a bunch of Reddit posts, and I even made some YouTube videos about it recently. Like, within the last few weeks, within the last month. About a lot of different things. I talked about loot drop rate and how that works. I've made a Reddit post about that. I talked about height difference and height damage boosts. Attacking people from a height actually gives you a damage boost in that attack. And I made a YouTube video about that the other day too. Because again, I'm trying to reach a wider audience. These are like 5-minute YouTube videos that I just want to get the point across. All the information is on screen right at the start because I just show the Reddit post. Because I'm trying to give people detailed information as much as possible. And I also put out a video about stagger. I didn't put a Reddit post about this. It's video only, and it's also on the Archeage Research and Development Discord, which you can join down below. You know, stagger is funny because, like, I guess people don't even know about stagger's existence. But stagger is a crowd control effect, and it varies from skill to skill. The staggers don't always do the same thing as another stagger. So I made a big list with Art's help about all the different staggers and what they all do, and they're all there. They're all out there now. So that's another thing people can kind of learn. This is all information that so many people had no idea about, right? Everybody constantly asks, how does loot drop work? How does loot drop work? What do we need to do? Does everybody have to buff, etc.? Does somebody have to loot? All of those questions are answered now. Height damage bonus was completely undiscovered for 7 years. Even the Koreans were completely baffled about it when I brought it up. They linked that Reddit post that I made and said, what the hell? This is true. And people were completely reacting like crazy, went bonkers, saying, oh my god, I played this game for 7 years and had no idea about this. I learned something new about this game, you know, after 7 years, etc. So now, you know, that's kind of known, and we know about that. And, you know, about the staggers as well. But I want a place where all of this stuff lives, because a Reddit post, a YouTube video will definitely let people get to it, you know, in the future, because if you're searching for something specifically, like you're saying, Always Gaming, you'll find it, which is nice. But with a Reddit post, people don't always do that. So I want an actual in-game wiki that has all this information that I can, you know, throw on there and people will know forever, which would be really, really great. It won't just get lost in time. But yeah, I totally agree that YouTube is a great source of information. I personally don't like it as much because I don't like to sit through the long sort of YouTube videos. You know, there's an intro, there's an outro, maybe there's an advertisement during it, and, you know, the thing I'm looking for is only 6 minutes and 33 seconds in, and I have to sit through the whole video, 15 minutes, you know, with the things I don't care about. I don't always like that, because I look for specific things when I'm looking for information. But you're right, new players don't always have that, and they'll make full use of the video, which is awesome. I still link people to Paradox Gaming Network's video about how to progress as an early start in Archeage Unchained, what to do, how to use everything, because it's still an extremely good video, and any new player can learn everything they can from it, because every single minute of that video is very useful. There's nothing wrong with YouTube videos, at all. But not everybody likes to watch YouTube videos. Not everybody enjoys that format. People just want the text format sometimes. So they could read at their own pace, do things at their own pace, maybe while like multitasking or in the middle of lunch they could sit down. And so, but we don't really have those forms of text-based guides yet. We have some of them are out of date, like we were saying, but there's just not enough. And a wiki really does solve that. But there's like 2 unofficial wikis, and who knows which one to go to, because they have different information, and a lot of it is out of date in different ways. So we need something official. We just need something that is more, you know, more of a definite source for players to go to and say, ah, yes, this is where to go for info. That's what's missing, I think. And one that is accessible from in-game. We used to have one in-game, actually, and I updated it a little bit and made it nicer for people back in the day. But it has been broken kind of since Game Ago took over. And I've been pushing very, very hard lately to bring that back in a much more capable way. And I hope that happens. I really do. Ah, I need to drink water at some point. Let me keep drinking my tea. Hold on. Hopefully this has all been helpful or an interesting conversation to people. And it will go on YouTube. So like all of these streams just end up on YouTube anyways. So people can always you can always refer back to these videos if you ever need to. You can clip specific parts if you want to. Maybe your friend has a question and I answered it in some way. Feel free to, you know, bring it up to them. Have a good one, Fret. Thanks for stopping by and following. Appreciate it. You know, feel free to do that, because again, I don't really stream for any kind of a profit, right? I'm okay, you know, I have money, it's not a big deal. I'm not trying to become a big successful streamer or anything. I am literally just trying to share the game that I really enjoy with people. I do arenas and stuff. I like to record that stuff so that I can go back and learn what I did wrong later. I do this for my own fun, you know, and I really enjoy just kind of hanging out and entertaining people. So, yeah, you know, linking people to my YouTube videos, when I say that, it's not just because I'm trying to gain an audience, because I don't really care about that. I just want people to actually be informed about a game that has so little information about it, man. It sucks. So many people go into this game, get confused, and leave before even talking to anybody, which sucks, because there's so much potential for those players. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of how the game is. It doesn't feed you things. You have to learn them on your own, or specifically look. You have to go into this game and ask the correct questions, which isn't easy for most people, I think. My common example, of course, is you know, like if you want to get into tree farming, that's still tons and tons of like Excel sheets of data about what's the best tree to farm, where do you farm it, in which location, which regions. Well, how often do you have to go back to it to make sure that it's, you know, is it thunderstruck or not? Or do you have to pick it or not? What's the best trees in general? What are the rates of drops for those trees, like rubber trees? If you're doing rubber trees and you want to, you know, a chance to get rubber to sell, how much does rubber even sell for, actually? Maybe I should get into rubber trees. Natural rubber, 50. Really? 50 gold? That seems low. Doesn't sell too well, but you need this for cars, so... Anyways, there's so much with just one little system that exists in the game. That's just one system. So, you know, if you want to get into tree logging, you have to get interested in it. You have to start looking things up or making data, your own data charts. You know, see what other people put out and get suggestions or recommendations, sure, but there's a lot to it, just from one little system. The whole game is like that, with every system that exists. Who's that? Oh, that's a green. It's malware. What's up, man? Wait. What's up? Okay, thanks, malware. He says he's gay. Wait, are you stream sniping? Sorry, I don't have bubbles up. I don't have bubbles up because people keep, you know, I didn't want to have people abuse the bubbles. You ran all the way here just to say that, but, looks like you need mana. I do. You gonna give me some mana? Malware? Alright, come along. You're gonna be my mana boy. Mana boy. Wait, you can't give mana anymore. Ah. Look at you. Wait, how did you turn red? What? Wait, I'm confused. Oh, you actually downed me? That's so funny. Alright, that's good. Thanks for the mana, though. I don't think that was worth 100 gold, but, I mean, that's how I get mana back in regular circumstances, so I guess that works. Wait! What if WoW's online? Nah, I'm kidding. There's nobody else online in the guild. Alright. Now I get to gank you. Oh wait, but I'm so far away. Ugh. 100 gold, just to give me mana. That's actually, that's the most expensive mana potion I've ever seen. Yeah, I have mana potions. I didn't, you know, you didn't have to do them. I haven't been in a dom, let alone a solo one, in a very, very long time. Wait, let me get this. Get this owl. You're saving me money? I know, but you know, it's pretty expensive. It is extremely nice of you, I will say. Thank you for the. Why'd you pour it away? Oh, did you go over there, Art? Oh my god. It's so far. I don't even want to farm those mobs now. I'll just farm these guys. These are better for XP anyways. In fact, I don't know why I don't farm here more often. Or why other people are not farming here more often. This is a little weird, actually. These are like the best mobs to farm because these little dudes give XP too. That was really funny though. Alright, okay, so I don't need this out. I'm gonna turn this on. And then I'm gonna go here. No, I don't want to level this one. I want to level this one. And this. Okay, they're almost max level. Alright, what do we got? 1v0, okay. You coming back? You gonna give me more mana potions? You're gonna give me, every time I need mana, you're just gonna kill me? I actually don't care. What do I care? Let's do it. You wanna farm? That's fine. As long as you do it when I'm at low mana. And then I get to just farm around here. I'll keep talking about the game. You'll be back and you're low on mana. Oh my god. I gotta start using Frenzy then, so that you don't kill me. It's a new way to use Frenzy. Rax won't kill you if you don't have low mana, but Frenzy reduces your defenses. It's like a backwards Frenzy. Always gaming, you're really liking the game. Just, one, you're not good. Lol. Probably because you've been playing on your PC for about 3 weeks, and you almost died from like one mob. I mean, I don't know, it depends on how you play and what you're playing and stuff, right? If you're playing a healer class, in the early game, healer class is going to be a lot harder to, like, solo farm and do things by yourself. Do these dogs give more experience? Oh, they do. Okay. Yeah, but it takes forever for this to actually spawn them. Like in the later game, okay, you're a healer, you can actually farm most mobs by yourself without any problems. You can even, apparently, you can solo dungeons just fine. Oh, hey, Art. Come back. Come back. Nope. Nope. Screw you. Oh, crap, I don't want to do this then. Aha. That's right. You love that ability, I know. You love it. Wait, come back. God damn it. Oh, you defianced early. Okay. Alright, no problem. I'll defiance them. I'm gonna lock you there. Oh, God. Are you playing Dreambreaker? Yes, you are. Let's have my pet. I don't have the right pet out, so I can't. Why are you stillnessing? What's stillness gonna do? Ah! It's fine, everything's fine. Aha. That's right. Wait, what? Oh, I see. It just didn't bring me all the way there. Oh, damn. You have, God, there's so many ways that you can crowd control me. No, go away. Aha, yeah, you stay there. See you later. Oh, no, stillness. It stops you. Wait, we just proved a thing that I've been wondering about for a long time. If stillness still stops you from using a glider. And it does. Fuck you! Get away from me! What other things can I do? Ah. Oh shit! No! God damn it. Just let me get out of combat. Ah. Damn it! How did you get me? How did you do that? That's not going to let me get out of combat, is it? However, my mount is actually faster than yours. I just have to go uphill. As long as I go uphill, you can't catch up to me. Because your backdrop would actually screw you over more. No, screw you! Stop stream sniping, you bastard. It's a 2-second delay. No! God damn it. Okay, that's it. Now you lost me. There's nothing you can do. Alrighty. We're good. We're cool. Where were you, Rex? What happened? You could have killed Art. And me. It would have been a twofer. And I'm at low health anyways. And Art's gone. There's nothing you can do anymore. Still more fun, at least. Wait, can you actually, you can't kill people in a safe zone, right? Like this particular one. Even though you're in a dom, right? I don't think so. 99% sure you can't, right? This is still like a newy area, I believe. Which means I have time to drink my tea. That's all I care about. I woke up from a nap. I can barely think properly. Now I'm being forced to PvP constantly. And to escape through really absurd means. It means I have less time to drink tea. Oh, I know. Wait, why not? Actually, I was moderately excited. So you just came by to do a 100 gold mana. Screw you, Art. Get out of here. Do a 100 gold mana potion. That's all right. That's cool. I will say, you turning red was the most confusing thing that's happened. I haven't been in a dom in a long time. All right, so you did get me there. Absolutely didn't see that one coming. I thought people were gonna dom me during the hey Joker, this is a win server. Wait, is it not in the title? Oh yeah. Hold on. I updated it. I thought people were gonna dom me actually during the whole like the you know Saturday thing. I don't even know what you call it, but when the exile system changes, right? I was kind of there just because I thought I'm not changing. Let's see if anybody wants to dom me. But it didn't happen, which I was a little sad about, because I was totally up for PvP then. That would have been cool. 1v however many people. I really want Potato Ink to dom me. Just alone. Just because I know I would still perform pretty well. And even if they can completely, you know, 20 versus 1, I think I can still kill several people before they are able to kill me. But I'm not lead, so I can't dom other people. That's the sad part. Maybe I should just... Art, do you think we can convince William to give me XD so that I can just start doming people for no reason?
Unit ready.
That'd be good. Thanks for following Always Gaming. Yeah, just ask him. Oh, maybe I will. He didn't want to give me his land, so... you know, I didn't want to ask about the guild. But then again, I guess the land probably means more. And I can always just give it back to him once I'm done. Because I'm only an XD for the prestige. And if anybody ever needs my help on Win West, just ask. I have no problem helping out. And chilling with people, and you know, people ask me to help with trade runs and stuff. I'm totally up for that. I won't even do the trade run. I'll just come with to help. I'm not looking for profits or anything. So, you know, anybody in Frail, anybody in any guild for Win West, feel free to bother me about whatever. People have been doing that anyways. That's how I've been entertaining myself. Just, you know, socially helping out random folks. Alright, let's go, Art. Come on. Let's go. Let's go adventure. We haven't adventured together in a long time. What are we going to do? What are we doing? Moderately concerned you're not looking for an adventure, but here. What are you going to do? What's up? Where are we going? This is probably the worst place to go. Oh! Actually, so I've been doing a whole ton of... I mentioned this earlier. I've been doing a ton of title hunting. Oh, hey. I have to not hit Art. It's pretty easy. I've been doing a bunch of title hunting, and I've actually gotten most out of the way that I wanted to do. There are 3 titles I cannot do because the Copper Rampage isn't out yet. Like, there's no way to get the Copper Rampage. But specifically the Copper Rampage, I believe unlocks 3 titles you can get that are all like, they have to all do with racing. Does anybody have the Rampage? Do you know if you actually get those quest lines just from getting any rampage. Because I think I got it after building my S200, the silver version. But the quests online on the codex all say that you can only unlock them if you get the copper one. So I don't actually know the answer to that. If anybody has a rampage and knows whether or not you got something in your mail inviting you to like a show or something, that's actually it. Let me know, because I'm curious about that. Art, why are you talking in tongue in game chat? Yeah, the chat bubbles aren't up, so... are you just CCing mobs? That's... Okay, you can go do that. I will be over here. But anyways, my whole point was that we can go title hunting. There's still a little more that... like, we can go around and get, like, the kill quests in the different places for doing the prestige quests. But I don't know, I find that really boring, so I don't want to do that. There's 20 minutes till reset. Now, my reset is different than most, because I don't really care too much about the Haram stuff. You're just seeing things. Okay. I'm not... Wait, do you actually get XP from that? Just from contributing slightly? I forgot how this works. Do you see me taking your mobs? Okay, fine, sorry, yeah, alright, I won't kill your mobs. Jeez, oh my god. So aggressive. Oh, now you're taking my mobs. Oh, no, never mind. You're just running through. For anybody lurking in the stream, if you guys are a new returning player or anything of that sort, if you guys have any questions about Archeage, feel free to ask. Now is a really good time to do it. I've hit my 2-hour mark, so I'll start winding down here. Again, I'm trying to just stream lesser hours.
Unit ready.
With a higher amount, because I'm getting back into streaming, number one. And number two is I'm trying not to get a big audience. I don't care too much about the whole streaming bit in terms of, like, you know, kind of any monetary gain. I'm just doing it for fun and to help people out. So I will be winding down here after a little bit. Thanks for following Just Warden TV. Again, if there's anybody, like any new players, returning players, if you guys have any Archeage related questions, feel free to ask those. All of us in chat have played actually for quite some time, and I think all of us can help out with answering those questions. Again, you know, this game is extremely complicated for new players especially. There's a lot of information that's just not given to you. But people know it, people retain it in their heads, and I'll do my best to help out with answering those sorts of questions. I mean, you know, like I said, there's even mechanics in this game that people don't even know about, period. One of which was only uncovered just a couple weeks ago and made public, which is you actually do more damage to people when you are hitting them from a height. And that's not something that was, you know, maybe 95% of the community even knew about until, you know, we made a post about it just a few weeks ago. So, yeah, Archeage is really complex. Things have existed since the game's arrival, and, you know, those mechanics weren't even known yet. So, do not be afraid to ask questions, whether it's to me or anybody. You know, work with your guilds, figure stuff out. That's what's so much fun about this game, to me. That there's still more things that we don't even know. And it's just one of the craziest things. I think it's... I wouldn't say it's like a dream goal or something, but... To play an MMO and discover something that has existed for 7 years in this MMO that most people didn't know about, and to put it out there, is a really, really good feeling. To then go and see that the Koreans had no clue about it either is actually insane to me. That this baffled not only our community and the Russian community, but it's also baffled the Korean community in the same way. That's really cool. I don't think you get that in any kind of video game very often, but Archeage definitely gives that kind of possibility. Hold on, I'll get to your question. I'm not mad. That's a great question. Let me hold on. Mick Flaffy, you're a new player and you're not sure what to do. You've been doing all the main story and side quests, leveling up, etc. So it kind of depends on what you want to do personally. Like if you want to get into something specific, right? The professions in this game are all over the board, so you kind of can go whatever route you want. If you want to go more PvP focused, you can do that. If you want to go more you know, PvE focused or whatever, you can do that as well with different dungeon runs and such. If you want to work on boats or fishing, you can go that route. So it just depends on what you want to do. My suggestion in general is to come up with at least a general idea, and then join a guild that does that stuff, right? Join a guild that can help out, you know, your progression as well, and you can just be social with and hang out with people and you know, talk about dogs and you know, video games and movies and stuff with, and then just like chill with them and play a video game together. And I think that will help you with your progression as well as just your overall entertainment. What? Hey Art, you just fell out of the sky. Okay. Hopefully that helps a little bit. But yeah, McFluffy, if you know any particular idea of what you're trying to do, I can help you I can help steer in that direction for you, or give you at least some pointers there. How do you get good? I'm not mad, lol. So, how can I answer this in a very GamePro way? So being good is a very relative kind of term, right? Some people can consider good and bad, or good and evil, as completely different things. So to get good is a very unique term to what you're trying to achieve. What is good, right? What does it mean to be good? In some games, it means that you're more skilled than somebody else, and you understand things, and you understand the mechanics, and you can sort of show off your knowledge of the game. Or in other words, in other people, it can just mean better gear, which means you kill more people, and you don't have to do very much. Depending on what your meaning of get good is going to completely vary on the answer to that question. So, that's all I got for you. I answered your silly question in a completely regular, normal way. I hope that answers your question. Anything else? What have you guys got? What do we got? I'm on a roll. I don't even think I am, but let's say that I am. What else have we got? It's so funny because, like, over the years of streaming in Archeage, you know, there's always lots of negativity about the game, and rightfully so. Like I talk about, there's a lot of things that Archeage could do better, absolutely. And I yell about that stuff just as much as you guys do. But I do it through gigantic forum posts, and you know, talking to people and trying to, you know, work with the team. But, wait, do you want me to kill you? What do you want? I'm not going to kill you. I don't kill people who are sitting at low health and are just waiting to die. What are you saying? I'm gonna make you accidentally kill me. Okay, thanks for letting me know that you're trying to make me accidentally kill you. I will not do that now, because I've actually been extremely good from, you know, I've had to fight people who are like reds in safe zones and stuff, and I would always have to, you know, kill people without actually targeting a specific, like, by only killing one particular person. No AoEs, right? I've done that a lot. I've actually gotten really, really good at it. So, I cannot target this thing. That's weird. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, you'll be perfectly fine, Art. Don't worry about it. You're not gonna die. I'm good at this. Years of practice trying to kill reds who are in, safe zones on our side, and picking people out one by one. Stop hitting me. Get out of here. If you keep hitting me, now I have to kill you. That's not an accident. Wait! Aha! I know how to get rid of you. Wait, what if you kill him? Help! Wait. Help! I'm being harassed by this dwarf. He says lol. He doesn't want to help. What? He doesn't want to help me. Aw, man. He's lagging a little bit too. Get out of here. Screw you. No. McFlaffy, right now you're playing a Hex Warden, so what role is your class? What stats should I have in your gear? If I remember correctly, Hex Warden is Aromancy, Witchcraft, and Defense. Is that correct? I'm probably wrong. It's been a long time since I've had guest classes that I haven't heard of much. Let's see. Aromancy. Oh no, that's Dreambreaker. What am I saying? What's Hex Warden again? I know it's the Armamency Witchcraft. Oh, Battle Rage. Okay. I can define your class a little bit to help you, right? But it kind of depends on how you want to play. If you're playing a melee class, for example, Hex Warden is a very, very crowd control based melee class where you are able to do a lot of burst damage with Battle Rage as well as some sustainable damage from Battle Rage, just from triple slash, while keeping your opponents all crowd controlled in you know, a much larger radius with AoE crowd control, and keeping yourself alive by means of Aromancy, as well as getting out of a situation with teleport, or helping out your allies with things like Health Lift and Flame Rings if you choose to. Damn you! God damn it, I even knew what you were about to do. The moment you walked the other way. Did you just... Are you watching?
I saw that.
You saw that? Ah, shit. God damn it. I gotta turn off Crisp, too. Oh, it's already off. Of course it is. Alright, I probably ran out of my time on that. God damn it, Art. So anyways, what were we talking about? McFlaffy. Everybody's here to do the reset, huh? I'm not. I don't want to do reset. So anyways, so Hex Warden is kind of, if you're doing the melee damage route, it works really well. In PvP, you'll find yourself mostly just trying to crowd control people, keeping people, you know, from being able to do things. You can, what's nice about Hex Warden is you actually get the trips too. Whereas a lot of crowd control based classes don't focus on trips. Like a lot of mage classes, they're not going to be tripping people as much. But you have those options available to you because of this. And you have a lot of trip combos actually because of the other skill sets too. But it kind of depends, because you could play this very tanky, you could play this very damage-wise. It depends on how you want to play. If you want to play this as an assassin, then you can go for gear that kind of focuses on burst damage. If you want to play this as a sustainable class where you just always can do stuff without having to escape from combat, then you might want to go for like a dual-wield build or something of that sort to keep your attack speed up. There's a lot of options, right? Hex Warden is just one class, and the game significantly encourages you to switch up classes often. Frequently, as much as possible, switch up classes depending on what you're doing. In my case, right, I switch up between backline support classes too, because I really enjoy those. A lot of people don't play these, or don't do the things that this class does, so I enjoy it a lot. You could do the same thing. So depending on the route that you go, like McFlaffy, if you want to become, you know, full into burst, then that gives you the options to go other classes, depending on the situation, for more bursty setups, right? Like you can go shadow play with Battle Rage together to do huge burst damage and then escape with Aromancy. Aromancy Stealth and other things that can help you. You can go for sustainable routes for melee. If you like the sustain, if you like to play quicker and you want to go dual wield and you want to consistently be doing stuff in a combat situation, you can go and bring in Swiftblade, and that helps out a little bit more on the sustainability routes. You're always doing something. If you want to go completely opposite and just not even worry about damage, or you want to go tank, then instead, like, you have other options you can play instead of Hex Warden, depending on the situation, depending on what you're doing, right? Hex Warden is fine. You'll be able to farm mobs just fine. You'll be able to keep yourself alive, no problem. You'll be able to learn the game in time. But your gear and everything is, it should be based around what your end goal is. What do you actually want to become in the game, right? If you want to go tank, then you're probably going to want to get a shield and become more defensive, and get gear that's kind of based around that. And like I said before, you know, work with a guild, work with people, ask questions often, see what different things are, see what different buffs do, and that'll help a little bit with your kind of decision making there, McFlaffy. Hopefully I've been able to give you some kind of brainstorming advice there, because I do want to stress, you know, you're not locked into Hex Warden. The game encourages you to do tons and tons of things, and definitely take advantage of that as much as you can. What the hell is going on here? What are you doing, Arth? You brought me here. Now what? What do you want? That advice helps? Okay, cool. If you have follow-up questions, you want more specific advice or anything, specific advice is good to ask your guild. I love to give... Nope. You can't actually push me into there. I'd like to see you try, Art. Yeah, that's not gonna work, Art. I know what you're doing. But anyways, I like to give advice that is more kind of brainstorming and helps people kind of come up with decisions themselves. I'm not a big fan of telling somebody what to do because the game offers too much for that. Like, I can't say, oh yeah, play this. I can suggest play something to get in, like, to start understanding the game more, but you know, there's too many options in the game to be able to say, do this one thing. And the more people start to understand that the game actually is so open-ended that you can literally go, you can do no wrong by doing anything, right? Every class has their own strengths and weaknesses. Every gear type has its own strengths and weaknesses. So you know, the more you play, you kind of figure these things out. You start to find your own gameplay style, which is why Archeage is so cool. And again, only recently did I start playing, well, that's not true. I mean, from the first Sieges, I started playing Wispwalker and started realizing, I mean, the Wispwalker is like Dreambreaker, but instead of defense, it's Swiftblade for the accuracy reductions, for slow, for a bunch of other movement things. And then I really love Eidolon. It's such a fun build. These are backline support classes. A lot of people don't play. I stay alive for pretty much the entire fights, no matter what. I'm not trying to do damage. I'm just locking people down, protecting my team. It's a really, really fun way to play for me. And it also lets me see things on the battlefield, right? It's you don't really need gear score for this. You just need to play it, and then you'll start to learn the game a little bit better as you do this. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to play that you know, most people don't either, right? A lot of people want to play just DPS, or they want to play just healer, or they want to play a frontline tank. And so, you know, so these kind of builds don't get used as much. You know, like healers, unfortunately, they might take Aromancy, but they won't even use Health Lift very often, either because they just forget about it, or just because they don't have it even slotted, because there's so many other things you need to take as a healer. You might not be able to take Health Lift. So I take it because I see other people don't use it, so I'll do it, right? It affects the entire raid, so I may as well. I'll just push the button. It's not that hard, and it keeps people alive. Using Health Lift on an entire raid of, you know, 100 people, co-rated, is 400,000 more health, you know, between everybody together combined, which is a ridiculous amount of health, right? Most people have about 25,000 HP at the end game, and so giving everybody 4,000 to 5,000 more is like 20% more health, right? 20-25% more health, which is a big deal. There's a lot of little things, nuances that you'll learn just by playing, by trying out different classes, especially as you level everything up to max level. So, yeah, my advice can never be super strict. I can't say very specific things, but I hope I give better advice because of that. All right, anything else? It's 2 hours. It's been over 2 hours. I still feel a little bit groggy, but tea has helped. Thanks for following Codebreaker. Hopefully anybody who's lurking in the background has gotten something useful out of all this. Again, I'm just kind of doing this for, I enjoy helping people out and having conversations with folks, so this is good. I enjoy this stuff. Plus, you get to hear my bird in the background. He's just having a good time over there, playing in his cage. I think we're good. I'll probably end here then. Again, I don't have any kind of stream schedule at the moment. I'm just doing this in my own time whenever I'm playing. Whenever I'm, like, you know, bored or doing anything anyways, I'm just kind of, you know, chilling, right? Just chilling with chat. That's all I'm doing. So it's just kind of random. I have been streaming at random times as well to just catch different audiences, and I'm not trying to keep any specific audience. But if you like the content, go ahead and follow. You'll know whenever I go live. And I also do let people know when I go live in the other social media places. So if you ever want to ask a question... Did that not work? Oh, it didn't work. I don't know why. Streamlabs didn't pick it up. Oh, there we go. There's all the social media stuff. If you ever want to ask a question, feel free to PM me on Discord. If, like, there's something here that you didn't want to ask in chat for whatever reason, feel free to PM me. I have no problem with that. I'm going to head out. I appreciate everybody, all the follows, and, you know, just the people coming by to chill. I will see you all later. Good day, everybody.